video, I'm showing you my favorite grain substitutions. I am always asked what are my favorite substitutions when transitioning from the standard American diet, which is heavy on the processed foods, to a healthy diet like a paleo, which is abundant in real whole foods. So I'm really excited to share this video with you guys today. Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Tanya and I'm a holistic health coach. The transition from a standard American diet to a healthier one will be so much better if you don't just simply remove your favorite foods, but instead you find healthier alternatives. And honestly, we live in such an amazing time right now. There is so much innovation around food, so you can almost always find a healthier alternatives to your favorite food. I also want to make this video as helpful for as many people as possible, so I'm going to be giving you some substitutes that can be made from home using like ingredients that most people will have access to, but I will also share with you some of my favorite paleo food products that you can also use if you have access to it. And the funny thing is, I actually end up most of the time preferring the taste of these paleo food products over, you know, the standard product. I don't know if it's because the ingredients are higher quality, but honestly, I think it tastes better. So I have a lot of substitutions for you guys, but in today's video, we will focus on grains. I do find grains is the most difficult one to avoid, so we're gonna start with that one. But don't worry, I will also touch on legumes, dairy, and sweeteners in part 2 of this video. So definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that video and any other of my weekly videos on living a healthy lifestyle. All right, let's start with cereals. So if you had a similar childhood than mine, you most likely grew up eating cereals. Unfortunately, cereals are much closer to desserts than they are to a breakfast food. Your first meal of the day should have a balance of macronutrients. So balance protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats, which unfortunately cereal does not. On top of that, it has a ton of sugars, just sending you on the blood sugar roller coaster all day long, and that's just something you want to avoid. I love substituting a sugar cereal with my grain-free granola. So this granola is super easy to make. It has healthy fats, and the way I love consuming it is in a yogurt bowl. So I have some coconut yogurt or any type of yogurt. I add the granola, and then I add some fruit for some carbs, and I love adding either some collagen or some bone broth protein powder to the yogurt to add extra protein. So all the ingredients together makes a well-balanced meal. Next up, we have bread. Bread is such a staple in the standard American diet. Whether you have it as a toast in the morning or as a sandwich for lunch or maybe as like a side for dinner, it's pretty hard to go a day without it. There are better options that you're like overly processed bread. Of course, you can get some sprouted wheat, which is a little bit easier to digest. You also have breads now made out of rice, potato, or corn. But generally, I do avoid grains completely because of how difficult they are to digest. So 2 options here, and I tend to do both depending on what I'm feeling. Option 1 is replacing bread with foods that have a much higher micronutrient value. So that means instead of having toast for breakfast, maybe have a side of roasted sweet potatoes with your eggs and avocado. Or if you're gonna have a sandwich, whatever you're gonna put in that sandwich, just bulk it up a bit and put it on top of greens for a nourishing salad. Things like that. But I'm fully aware that that's still not bread. So option 2 is finding an alternative that has quality ingredients. I actually have a paleo-friendly bread recipe, which is included in my ebook, which is launching in 2 weeks from now. And there's also brands out there like UnBun and Legit Bread Company, which makes like bread products. So UnBun, I think most of their products are based with almond flour, and the Legit Bread Company, I think most of their products, especially the ones that I have tried anyways, are made with cassava flour. So I love both of those companies, and I will be sure to link the products down below. Alright, I know I just said you can replace a bread with foods with a higher micronutrient value, but come on, you gotta have tortillas. Yes, you can make lettuce wraps or lettuce tacos, but first of all, I don't know, every time I try to make a lettuce wrap or lettuce taco, it just ends up falling apart and turning into a salad anyways. I don't know if I'm the only one that hasn't figured out how to make a proper lettuce wrap yet, but it doesn't matter because there are alternatives for grain-free tortillas. Another recipe I'm launching in my ebook are cassava flour tortillas, which are absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for those. Plus, I actually tell you in the ebook how you can turn those tortillas into pita chips. So you get a little bit of a two-in-one there. Siete is also my absolute favorite brands for all things tortillas. They make coconut flour tortillas, almond flour tortillas. I have some right here. These are the cassava flour ones. I always have them in the freezer if I need them. And they also make tortilla chips with all kinds of flavors, and they're delicious. So again, I will be sure to link those products down below if you want to check them out. So if you're a snacker, then you most likely enjoy crackers. I mean, I'm not even a snacker personally, but if I do want a snack, it's usually crackers and something else. So it's safe to say that it's an essential in my kitchen, and that's why I have created my own almond flour crackers. Again, that will be launching in my ebook, and I know this is probably starting to sound like an advertisement for my ebook. Obviously, I want you guys to know that I have an ebook coming out, but what I really want you to know is that this is exactly why I created this ebook. It's to make sure that you guys have healthier options when you're transitioning from, again, that standard American diet to a healthier diet like paleo, and you don't have to miss out on your favorite foods. So there are substitutes for almost anything in the recipe section of my ebook. So I'm really excited for you guys to get your hands on that. Another favorite of mine, and I always have them on hand, are the Simple Meals crackers. These are all grain-free crackers. This one is just the sea salt flavor, but they have a ton of flavors, and these honestly taste exactly like what you would find on the grocery store shelves. Another staple in a lot of people's diet is pasta. I know personally, spending the majority of my life as an athlete, I had pasta pretty much on the daily. There are a few options when it comes to pasta substitutes. Personally, I really like making noodles out of vegetables. So if you have a spiralizer, you can pretty much turn anything in noodles. A few favorites of mine are zucchini, butternut squash, or a sweet potato. If you don't have a spiralizer, honestly, I highly recommend getting one. They are really affordable, and they're just such a great tool to have in the kitchen. I'll be sure to link some down below that I recommend. Another vegetable that does not require a spiralizer is spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is so cool. You just bake it and you just scoop it out with a fork, and it gives you little like spaghetti strings. And there's not a ton of grain-free pasta like substitutes, like actually pasta, but I recently tried this brand, Jovial, and they were really good. Honestly, I highly recommend them. And the pasta is made from cassava flour instead of wheat. And if you eat chickpeas and can tolerate them, then there's chickpea pasta, which is also a great alternative, and it's available in a lot of grocery stores, including Costco, so it's a really affordable price. And lastly, you can always just skip the pasta. One of my favorite recipes is my bolognese stuffed sweet potato. This is a recipe included in my 7-day paleo meal plan, which is free to you. So if you're interested in grabbing the free 7-day meal plan, then I'll have that as the first link in my description box. And if you just want to grab that sweet potato bolognese recipe, then I'll make sure that it's also in the description box. Next up, we have rice. So rice is the perfect food to pretty much bulk up any meal. It goes perfectly with things like a curry or butter chicken. And I know when I'm having something like a curry, it just seems wrong not to have it with rice. So I love using a cauliflower rice. You can make it fresh by grating it. So all you need is a head of cauliflower. You grate it with like a cheese shredder grater, and that's it. You have cauliflower rice. You can also find it in the frozen section. I make sure to always have some of that stocked in my freezer in case, again, I just want to bulk up a meal. Or you can even have find shelf stable versions like this one here. This one, I think I got it off Natura Market, which is just like an online health food store here in Canada. But again, if you just don't have a lot of freezer space, or you don't have it at all, then this is a good alternative. Now let's talk baking flours. So I've definitely mentioned a few grain-free baking flours throughout this video, but my favorites are almond flour, coconut flour, tapioca flour or starch, arrowroot flour or starch, and cassava flour. I find they all have a little bit of a different texture, so depending on what I'm making, I use different flours. When it comes to healthy treats, almond flour is definitely my favorite. Like in my healthy Twix bars, for example, which you can find on my Instagram and I will also make sure to leave that recipe in the description box. But honestly, I always have all of them stocked up depending on, you know, what I'm making, and I encourage you to kind of do the same and try them out and see what works for you. And that's it, guys. I hope I gave you a ton of substitutions over grains, and if you have any questions or if you have a specific food that you would like a substitution for, definitely leave it down in the comments and I will be sure to answer that. Don't forget to grab your free 7-day downloadable meal plan. It includes amazing recipes, the meal plan, and the grocery list for the week, so everything is nice and easy for you to have a successful 7 days. If you like this video, I'd be so grateful if you could give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And if you know of anyone that could benefit from watching this video, then definitely share it with them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! So you guys can't really see this while I'm filming, but this is typically the company I have right here on the couch when I am filming. So adorable.